Okay, sorry about that, folks. I having some display problems here. Hopefully this works. We'll see. Thanks for joining us today for Data Wizard 3, one in a series of Data Wizard uses. Okay, sorry. Okay, so Data Wizard. Let's move on here. Okay, Data Wizard, what is it? It's one of the Sim project suite of tools. It's intended for the everyday user, creating design and production drawings. I should have mentioned that this Data Wizard 3 version here, part of 3, we're going to focus on quantity takeoffs today. I'm going to show you, hopefully if things go well, how to extract some different data. So, and this will work in the last 4 versions, back to version 2019 until 24 comes out, and then we will drop that. Okay, so Data Wizard. Why Data Wizard? First of all, it lives up here in the setup project suite tools. We can create tables, legends, quantity takeoffs, like I said, so more than legends, and it's fully customizable. Okay, so I said quantity takeoffs, which we're focusing on today. We can also put things into an Excel sheet for tabulations and however you want to use them. Maybe OLE them into a drawing instead of a table, totally up to you. And we can save these templates to be used on future projects. So today we're going to show you how to define the extraction and filtration of objects, many different ways to do things. We're going to execute data extraction to a table. We'll sort the table so we can display it how we want in our drawing. And then we will show you, hopefully, how to update things when things change. So with that, let's attempt to get into the live demo. Okay, looks like things are working. So good. Oh, I should also mention, if you have any questions as we go along, go ahead and post them. I will try to answer them as we go along here. And if not, we'll get to them at the end. So let's take a look at Data Wizard here. Like I said, it's up here, so let's go ahead and open it up. Okay, where did it open up? Let's get it off here. Okay, it's on my other screen somewhere here, somewhere on another screen, folks. Trying to locate it here. Try to close it. Let's try opening it again, see what happens. Oh, I saw it flash. It's there. Hang on. Let's try this trick. Okay, there we go. Like I said, I had some screen problems here, monitor problems presenting right before, so hopefully this doesn't happen too much of it. or too much more. So here we go. Data Wizard, the opening page, user interface here. Today we're going to focus on extracting trees from, as an example of trees from this this drawing that I have open here. Let me close this. So we have a typical site, survey site here, a number of trees. We might want to include, if this was our site, just these trees or all the trees that were surveyed. So we can easily do that. If you joined any of our other ones, you've seen how we extracted other data from this. Let me close this again real quick. And I showed you this before in one. This is what we're after right here. This is one I created already. So that's the end goal. I'll show you how we got there. So let's open that back up again. Setup table. So with that, here's templates. We can load our templates here. Okay, I've made a number of them prior to this presentation. We can include the XREF drawings only if we want to, or current drawing. We're going to do the current drawing today. If you've seen some of our other ones, we can limit it to layouts, which I'm going to hopefully show you that. So let's move on. Next. Well, actually, you know what? Let me load one of these templates. I've got one just that's got a whole bunch of stuff in there. So I'm just going to load this from the start. So you can see I've got a number of things checked here of what to include. Okay. So that's from the current, coming from the current drawings. Again, we go to our options here. This just says to remember where this is, and at any time we can save a template. So let me refresh this and see why we're not getting anything but polylines. That we should have got more than that. Let's check that off. Let's see what happens. Okay. Well, what we want to get it to today is the survey points for the trees. So there's a number of survey points in there. And to get here, we can filter from this what we get, what we don't get, what we really get. So I already have a filter going there. I'm going to take that off. And I'm going to just move along and show you what our list gets us to start with. So no COBA points, apparently no feature lines. Oh yeah, there aren't any, okay. Survey points, what are we getting? Everything. We got way too many. We don't want all that. All we want to do is count the trees today. So multi-liters, we don't have anything there. We don't have anything. Oh, we do have a couple polylines. If you want to do measuring of curb and gutter, you can do that right here for areas. Time permitting, we'll get to that. So here's where what we have to extract right here. Okay, here's everything we can get at here today. So today we really just want to get count of trees. We can go by full description, raw description. A good way to see what you're getting is to turn those on and then to see what do I want to populate. And these are all dependent on, these are from your survey points, so full description, raw description, let's turn raw description on. That's going to be important today. So what the surveyors are shooting in the field is important. You can do it by custom description, which we've shown you before right here. If you want to enter everything by hand, but if things are done right, we can get this more quickly. So let's go back and let's do some filtering. So first thing, let's do a filter by, all these are on layer, the points are on layer something symbol. So I can use a wildcard right here. Oops. To filter out what I want to see. I click OK. Right away you see this number dropped right here. So what am I going to get? I'm going to lose all that. Whoops, I'm going to lose all that line work stuff, right? And we really just have symbols. So we have SDM, CB. What else do we have here? Let's kind of go through. So sign, we have that. So let me go back. I was going to show you this, how these different things work. So if we do by separate items, we go to the next page. Let me go back. Oh wait, here, let me clear it out here. So we want the graphic. We don't want, scratch that. Let me go back. We don't want cocoa points. We don't want feature lines. We don't want multiliters. We don't want polylines. Just hit refresh again. You'll see that drop to 0 now. So we got cocoa points. Survey, I thought I clicked that off. Let's go back, get that off. I must have missed. Okay. And I missed that one too. There, get that out of there. Okay. Survey points. So we open that up. Here's what we're seeing in the separate. So we're seeing everything, every single tree, no matter how many times it was shot. So for a total of 112. We don't want that either. We only want what's different. Let's see what happens when we do this. Separate, and I go next. Now none of the numbers changed, but what it does is it groups things now. So you see how many of each. So there's one of those. This one has 2. So we see there's 2 of those. That might be handy for another application, not this one. So we're going to go back to combine. I'm going to go here, and I can weed out those description, or exclude, sorry. Exclude by raw description. Let's do that. Exclude by raw description, we can do SDM, and these aren't case sensitive. So you can uppercase, lowercase, doesn't matter. I'll do it. That one uppercase, star, comma, what else? I think I saw a sign out there. So we'll do that, say okay. Now right there, drop to 85. So next, so now here it says here we have total count of 85 trees, but we only have 20 different ones here. So it's combining every like size of tree that we have here. So 12, 8, and so on. And we don't need this layer description here for what we're making. So let's turn that off. That's not going to be in our table. We don't need the raw description either. We don't need that. We don't need the object name. Let's get that off of there. Okay, so we do want the layer description. That gives us, when we shot these style description. Let's just try that one. Okay, there we go. So it's a style description. So that comes from your point style. When you give it a point style and you give it a description, you've made those before, I'm sure, and you enter that, that's what we're getting here. Now these are all generic. You might have another one here, a 12-inch oak, you might have them separated out that way. Totally up to you. So let's move to the next page. What's on the next page? Here's all of our settings. Okay, so here's going to set our width. Now I loaded a template, so this came with it. But we're doing this in model space, so we want these exaggerated. in scale. This is a 20 scale drawing, as you can see down here. So we're going to make those 20 to get them to 1-to-1. So we make that 20. Let's change this to existing trees. And this case doesn't matter what casing you use here because it's controlled by this. You can say title case. You can say none and have it follow that too. In this case, we're going to leave it at uppercase. So here's what we're going to get. We're going to get the graphic, the symbol. We're going to get the layer description, which we don't want. Let's back up. Get that off there. We don't want that. Okay, so this is kind of how you can proof it before you get there. So let's just say finish and see what we get here. This is where the templates come in handy because they're going to really take care of things for you. You won't have to go through this setup over and over. And there's our table. So it looks pretty much like that one up there. So we can see, and you can put the headers in here too if you want. So we have 12-inch, we have one of those. We probably want the count, like this one here, to land there. And we might want to sort these differently too, where all of our conifers are together and our deciduous are together. So let's go back and do that real quick. So you can see this kind of a, I don't know, a intuitive kind of thing. You can see what you get. Let's go next. So everything should still be the same. All we got to do is sort those guys. We'll double check that. Next. So right here, we can sort how things go. So we said we want the counts first. So let's slide that to there. So graphic, got the tree, got how many, we got the size, and we got the style of what it is. All looks good, except for some of this. So how can we sort that? We come here and we can pop this little box open here and we'll do sort by object. And that got us most of the way there. Let's click that, see what changes. In this case, nothing changes. So we can take that off and we can say okay here. And now we've got all of our conifers first, and it's going to follow the same like Excel, other things where 1, 1, 1, 2, and so on. So we probably want these sorted in a different order with smallest to largest. I guess that's probably the most realistic. So we can just slide these up. So 4 looks like 6, 7, 8, 10, 12, and we'll do the same thing with the deciduous trees here. So we got 10, we want above, 13, 11, we want in between there. Why do I have to? Oh, I got one of these out of place. Look at that. No biggie. So I slide that up there. So where are we at here? There we go. We'll get there, folks. One more. Okay. So that looks much better. This is how it's going to look when we bring it over. All these are sizable, by the way. if you want to shrink them, grow them, whatever you want to do. So right there, I think we like this. Let's save this template. Call it demo 4623 trees, just to keep it straight. Save that. We'll hit finish. And then we'll show you how another way to sort these because they're shot. So here we have everything looks pretty good. Now these say vary because the layers didn't match before. So that shows it's important to have everything the same. I've stressed this before, that templates are the way to go. Drawing templates so everybody's on the same page makes things a lot easier. Like I said, you can save something like that from happening by custom descriptions. I find that a little cumbersome if you can do things ahead of time. So let's open Data Wizard back up and show you another way to filter these groups. And this is going to be kind of important in this case. So we've got the survey points down here, 85. So we can sort by this. We can do filter that, or we've got this one for, because it's point groups, we can filter by group. So I went ahead and made a group for trees existing. I say okay. Well, it was 85 before, now it's 74. Why? Well, there's a reason for that. So it's dependent on your grouping in your tool space. So it's below the existing site trees. So it's omitting those. Okay, so if I move that up, say apply and close, and come back into Data Wizard. Whoops. Come on. Long pause to get there. Then we should see that the number is going to go back to the 85 that it was. Right there. See? So it's including all of the trees now. I made one for just the site, which we'll show you in a minute. So next, I don't think you know what I'm going to save over top of this one here. No, I'm not, because I got a spelling error or a case error. So let's do that. Finish. And I'll just drop it. Come on, right there. Okay, so we've got the same thing happening here. A couple different ways to get there. I'm going to take that one off of there. So what if we just want the ones that are on the site? So if I'm down here, I'm in the site. Oh, I was going to show you that. I've already got a viewport set up for it. This might be a way you do it. That's what that point is there. It's on a no plot layer where I know where to put it to get it to show up here. So this is really our site right here. It's not the overall thing. What if we just want those? Well, there's a couple ways to get there again. So let's go back. I said that I had created a point group for just the site trees. It's going to look like this when we're finished. In the interest of time, I am going to load up the template that I made for that. So I did Where is that one? Maybe I didn't. Okay, that's okay. I guess I didn't. We'll make one. Show you how easy that is. So next, and all we have to do here is, well, before I do that, let's change our point grouping here. So I want to push that one to the top. Let's come back here. Okay, go next. I'm going to change this filter group to site trees. We should see jump to 11. So there's 11 trees included in this site. Everything else will be the same, except I'm going to call this, give it a different title. We'll call it site with an S. Finish. Drop it in right next to that one. And there we have just the site trees. So what if I wanted to do it in model space and get there? What if I didn't want to include that? I could do the same thing right here as we did in some of our other videos. Set my legend to paper space and pull it in right here. I think I have a template ready for that. Kind of getting short on time for what I wanted to show you. So here we go. Tree count final, paper space. Let me open that up. Next. Survey points checked. Okay. And I could do it just by picking that viewport too, but that's really not what's showing up on just the site. Just these are, and I separated those out in my point group. So again, we've got the same situation, everything all the same there. And because I made this template already, so it pulled in, I don't have to mess with this sizing anymore. That's sometimes you got to play with that a little bit. So let me call this site trees as well. Verify what we're getting. Let me hit finish. And it should look pretty much like that guy that's already in there. Okay, there we go. So again, the beauty of templates. Oh, and I should note too that these are just regular AutoCAD tables, nothing proprietary. If you wanted to change anything in here, it's simple as clicking it and moving it, changing it. If I wanted to realign these, I could change where they land, everything like that right there. So there's that. Let's jump into some more things if you want to pull areas off of these. So here we've got a site, kind of a typical site. We've got some heavier paving along this drive lane than we do the main parking area here. We can pull all kinds of stuff from this. So you can do it by area of like feature lines and stuff if they're closed. In this case, they're open. So I went ahead and hatched these already. Show you the hatching here. Oops. Okay, so we've got hatching here, hatching here, hatching here, and they can be frozen. And Data Wizard can pull them if they're frozen. or you can exclude them, whatever you want to do. So let's come back into here. All right, I'm going to load a template real quick and then show you how we got to that. So next, do a refresh. It's because we're pulling hatches here and we're after areas. I said before that you could exclude frozen or include them. So if they were frozen and you had that checked off, it would still include them. So we come back to here. So here's what we're getting. So this table, I've got it set up to extract the graphic. So we want to see what the hatching pattern looks like. The layer description, when you make your layers, of course, you're giving it descriptions. Again, custom you can do if you want to. And we did the count before, we want the area. So when this is in square feet, however your ambient settings are set, this is what you're going to get. So if you want it in, I don't know, square meters, whatever, you can set your ambient settings to include that. So this is square feet. I'm going to go next. So this one came with little different settings for this thing, how we want this. I set the title to areas in square feet. Again, uppercase. I bumped the hatching scale down a little bit so that will fill out our boxes. And those, it's this model space legend that we're using. These come, again, straight from your AutoCAD annotation up here. So let me hit finish. Okay, and there we have it. Here's what we have. So the heavy duty, the 7-inch bituminous for the driveway. We've got a square footage area. We've got the symbol or the hatching pattern. We've got a rock. We've got the building. If you're including other impervious areas, that would count. So let's kick that out to an Excel. You know what? Let's go back to this other one. Because we can do the trees again. We'll kick those out. Let me get back in my model space. So let's just quickly do an Excel table and see what we get there. So if you wanted to do summary tables, let's load this guy. Open, next. Do a refresh, make sure we're getting everything. Okay, next. Next, we get to the last page here. And we're gonna, you can do them both at the same time. We're gonna export this to an Excel table. So I did this tree count one already. Let's do it from fresh. Oh, why I keep doing that? Again. Tree count, let's give it today's date. Keep things straight. And say save. And finish. I'm sure you type better than I do. You'll get that done quicker. So what are some things we can do in our Excel table? Of course, it opened on my other screen. So what are things we can do? And whatever you can do in Excel, you can do here. I don't like that. We don't know what any of that is. So we go back, we should include headers. The one snafu for that. If you saved this with the headers, it will, in the template, it will come with you. So let's just say headers. It's hanging on to the name I just gave it. It's going to ask me if I want to overwrite it. I do. In this case, I do. And it kicks you right in there. So now we can say, you know, anything you can do in Excel. So you want to change the look of that. Great. All of our, because we sorted it, all of our conifers and all of our deciduous trees are here. Maybe you want to do a count on just those. How many of conifer trees do we have? We could add another column here. Not there. Here, I want to do here. Total. Let's go here. We can do the sum. Those, we can do the same thing here. And now we have that ready to go for whatever you want to use that for. Okay, let me see what else I wanted to show you guys today. Kind of fast, I know. But I just kind of want to give you the idea of all the things you can do with this. Oh, I was gonna, so if we had another site, let's pull this in real quick. I'll just show you this. So if we had another site, maybe it was adjacent site, I don't know. But we want to include trees from another drawing, or maybe you want to make a table from just that drawing that's not there. You can certainly do that. So we just come in here, open the table back up, and we load that template again. So it was this one. So we can include additional drawings. So I say okay right here. And I want this drawing here, demo survey base. Open that up and click that off real quick. Next, do a refresh here. You're going to see 74. That's what we had before. If I say include this, it's smart enough to know that all the settings are the same. The drawing was done the same. Because we used our template and everything's coming the same, now you saw it jump to 81. So if I say next, and next, we're good with everything. Let me drop it in right here, excuse me. And you'll see that it's going to be a little bit longer. So it's got a couple more trees. It's got 4 more 4-inch or 10-inch, whatever, I didn't sort it. 4, you get the idea. So those are some of the things we can do with Data Wizard for the things you want to pull out whatever your workflow says, you know, what your end game is there. So with that, I'm not going to take up any more of your time. So if you have any questions, go ahead and ask them. But again, it's part of the CTC SIM project suite. We're currently at release version 23.6. We also have the management suite. Excuse me. If you need to get it and you don't have it, you can contact us at our website, ctcsoftware.com. Thank you for attending today, and I hope you learned a couple things, and we'll see you next time.